library.
So before we commence, I humbly request everyone to keep their phones on silent mode.
In a debate, there are two sides. If both make a good argument, then the less popular side wins because that side had further to go to prove its point. Simple logic. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The day has come to witness the war of words and crown the best debate team of South India. The last 3 months have witnessed the best of the best debates across the whole of South India, namely Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Kerala. Today, we welcome each and every one of you to the South India finals of the Maria Philip Future Leaders Debate, the flagship program of XIME, being conducted over the years to encourage debating skills, especially among girl students. As a result, you will see that at least one member of every team is a girl at today's finale. For the next few hours, we will ponder on the topic, India's commitment to meet half of its energy requirements by 2030 from renewables is impracticable and, if realized, would gravely hurt economic development.
The winners will take home the Maria Philip Ever Rolling Trophy and cash prizes of Rs 60,000 for the first position, Rs 25,000 each for the runners-up, and Rs 25,000 for the best speaker. We are pleased to announce that 290 teams have participated across 5 states, and the finalists from each state have already bagged Rs 40,000 for first place. So just remember the words of Frank Sonnenberg. You don't win a debate by suppressing the discussion. You win with compelling rationale. So dear audience and participants, get ready to buckle up and watch the heated debate.
6 teams from prestigious colleges across the whole of South India are here in XIME Kochi campus to compete for the Maria Philip Memorial Rolling Trophy and a cash prize pool totaling worth Rs 1,35,000.
So before we begin, we'd like to congratulate again all the winners of the zonal and state level rounds which were held between the months of October 2023 and January 2024.
We've now reached the segment of the day you all have been waiting for. The portion for which you, the winning teams in the state rounds, have been preparing rigorously for.
So now I would like to have the privilege of introducing our esteemed panel of judges. So first, we have as the chairman of judges, Ms. Dr. George Sliba. So Dr. George is the former chairman and managing director of FACT Limited, the biggest PSU in Kerala. He is currently the chairman of Kerala State Productivity Council, an autonomous institution set up by the government of Kerala. In the past, Dr. George has been the MD of Travancore Sugars and Chemicals and the joint MD of V-Guard Industries Limited. Besides, Sir was also the Dean of Albertine Institute of Science and Technology, ISAT Kalmasheri, and the Executive Director of K. Chitlapalli Foundation, an NGO working for the welfare of the poor and needy. We welcome you to this event, sir.
Our next judge for the event is Ms. Anisha Cherian. She is the founder and managing director of Chemanur Academy and Systems Private Limited, the largest recruiter of money exchange houses in GCC countries. She is the serving president to TIE, the Indus Entrepreneur Kerala chapter, and the first woman to hold this post at TIE Kerala. Ms. Anisha is also the founding member of ROV, Raising Our Voices Foundation, a registered society empowering women, children, and gender crime victims. She is also an advisor to WEN, Women Entrepreneurs Network, an NGO with 700 plus members, where she was in the founding committee as joint secretary. We are grateful for your attendance and welcome you, ma'am.
So next, we have Ms. Biji SS, the Senior General Manager and Group Business Head of South Indian Bank. She is presently heading the Corporate Banking Group, Housing Loan, Vehicle Loan, Co-Lending and Transaction Banking Group, handling 48% of the bank's asset portfolio. She is also the presiding officer of the Internal Committee of the bank and member of credit committees, audit committees, and councils covering different areas of banking. She has worked in diversified roles covering branch banking, marketing, retail credit underwriting, and administrative roles during her 27 years with SIB. We would like to extend a warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Our next judge is Ms. Junie George. She is the founder and CEO at The Fifth Mantra, an exclusive platform for communication fitness. She is a communication and EQ coach with over 2 decades of experience, post her master's in marketing and international business from IIFT Delhi. Apart from her professional accomplishments, she is also a trained musician, singer, classical dancer, voiceover artist, and writer. Interestingly, we would like to share with the audience that Ms. Junie was the first winner of the Maria Philip debate. We are pleased to have you for this evening and present you a heartfelt welcome, ma'am.
So next we have with us Advocate Anil D. Nair. Mr. Anil D. Nair is a senior advocate of Kerala High Court. He was also a company secretary and financial advisor working since 1987. He is an advocate with an outstanding experience of 3.5 decades. We welcome you, sir, to the program.
It's time to move ahead, dear audience. For the benefit of the judges and to remind the contestants, we now have certain rules and regulations to be followed throughout the competition. The rules that must be followed by each speaker for the preliminary round is: first, the mode of communication of the speakers should be English. Second, the team number will be announced to come on the stage for a maximum of 3 times, and teams failing to report even after the third announcement will be disqualified. Third, all chest A members will speak for the motion, while chest B members will speak against the motion. Fourth, since the time allotted is less, speakers are advised not to call out or mention the debate topic. This will result in negative marking. Speakers can only indicate if they are speaking for or against the motion. Fifth, speakers must refrain from revealing either their personal or their college names. Sixth, each speaker is allotted a time of 3 minutes. Speakers should not exceed 3 minutes nor speak for less than 2.5 minutes. Marks would be deducted for speakers speaking for less than 2.5 minutes and exceeding the time limit. A warning bell will sound at 3 minutes to indicate the conclusion, with a long bell at the end of 3.5 minutes. I repeat, a warning bell will sound at 3 minutes to indicate the conclusion, with a long bell at the end of 3.5 minutes.
So each team will be evaluated based on the following 3 criteria. So 1, content. The content should have a proper beginning, body, and conclusion with a logical flow. Depth of ideas with facts and figures, relevant data, and reasoning. 2, body language. Candidates will be evaluated on their posture, gestures, eye contact, and this includes not holding the mic while speaking. The mic will be set and adjusted according to each speaker by the technical team. 3rd, full range of voice. Your articulation, speed, intonation, emphasis are also some parameters you would be evaluated on. So without any further ado, let's kickstart the 2023-24 edition of the South India Finals of the Maria Philip Future Leaders Debate. We wish the participants the very best of luck. So I request all the contestants except for the first team to kindly move from the auditorium. Our volunteers will be escorting you. May we have on stage team 1? One B, you may be seated. May we have 1A speaking for the motion.
Can you get it a little lower? Can you get it a little lower? Little bit lower. Yeah, a little bit more. Before I begin, I hope I'm audible to everyone. May I start? 8 years, 1 month, and 19 days. That was the time frame of the commitment India made to source half of its energy needs from renewables at the COP26. Less than 2 years later, India made a complete reversal of stand at the COP28. Why? Now the developed countries point a finger at India saying you are one of the largest contributors of carbon dioxide and you need to bring things under control. Which seems fair enough, right? Only if you completely ignore the historical past. So India replies by saying that your development has been polluting the earth at a massive scale ever since the Industrial Revolution. And you're now asking India to not grow, to not increase the living standard of our people, and essentially remain a backward developing country forever. Because let's face it, the cost of developing an economy and going green at the same time is just too high for any country to bear. So the only solution is for these developed countries that have already contributed to their fair share of pollution to significantly reduce their emissions and aid the green transition to offset emissions from developing countries. Regrettably, this is not happening at the required scale. In fact, Prime Minister Modi demanded $1 trillion towards global climate finance. and the superpowers of the world have only contributed $100 billion so far. So there are two major hurdles standing in the way of India's prolonged use of renewables. First is our construction sector. Despite being a significant contributor to our carbon emissions, construction is indispensable to development, leaving no alternative. Finally, what everything comes down to, energy. India sources a majority of its energy from coal, and you can hear the environmentalists screaming away that switch to wind or solar. It's much cleaner. Simple enough, right? But wind and solar energy have incredibly high conversion and efficiencies and idle times, making them unsuitable to be primary sources, leaving the only viable alternatives to be green hydrogen and nuclear. But any new form of green energy introduced will not only have to take over polluting sources like coal, but also scale up to meet India's almost 10% annual demand surge, making this transition virtually impossible by 2030. Granted, India has made significant strides when it comes to wind and solar energy, but this just isn't enough. In fact, last year, wind and solar energy contributed to just a quarter of the 10% annual increase. So, can India achieve this goal? Theoretically speaking, yes. But I would like to repeat my opening statement that I used in the state level competition. In theory, there is no difference between theory and practice. But in practice, there is. So while this is theoretically possible, when the so-called superpowers of the world don't even stick to the carbon emission limits, let alone fund the developing nations, forcing this goal will result in a very, very hard landing for the Indian economy, causing prices to shoot through the roof and millions of people losing their jobs. So as we stand now, our 2030 goal is essentially a lost cause. But we all wish to see green energy eventually take over and hopefully reach our 2070 net zero goal. For this, both green hydrogen and the nuclear sector, which are currently riddled with administrative hurdles, need to take over. But at the end of the day, we live on hope. So let us hope that tomorrow will be a better day, countries work together, and we see our goals accomplished. Thank you.
Thank you, Vane. You may start.
Let's begin by acknowledging the undeniable truth. India's energy landscape is rapidly evolving. The transition to renewable energy sources is not just a choice, but an inevitable opportunity for us to combat the climate change and create a sustainable, secure future for our India. It's not just an environmental issue, it's an economic imperative. Now, let's address the crux of the argument, the impracticability and threat to the economic development. Firstly, the idea of transitioning to renewables is impracticable is simply unfounded, because India has already made significant strides of development in this sector. According to the reports of MNRE, India is the 5th largest producer of wind energy and 4th largest producer of solar energy. Right from the deserts of Rajasthan to the coastal areas of Tamil Nadu, everybody have been instrumental in this transformative journey. And recently, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveiled his plans for inclusive energy transition at COP26, Glasgow Summit, November 21. He presented to the world Punch Shield or Punch Netra. It's a 5-nectar. It's a solid 5-point roadmap to achieve this dream. And India has also joined the First Movers Coalition. It's a world-level initiative aiming to decarbonize heavy machinery, which is accountable for over 33% of carbon emission. And next, we have also established ISF, International Solar Alliance with France, which is a massive global solar movement. Now, one might wonder what is the importance of these deeds. These deeds lie and provide us that this renewable energy transition is feasible and at the same time provides the window of opportunity that many more further developments can occur. Now, moving to the second claim, threat to the economic development. This argument simply overlooks the myriad economic opportunities and benefits that renewable presents us. It's not only create jobs, but at the same time fosters innovation and create a more sustainable and looking forward innovative future to us. Now, I would like to support the statements by providing a beautiful case study of our very own Indian state, Gujarat. Gujarat is a trailblazer in renewable energy sector. According to the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy Sources, Gujarat has generated over 9.51 gigawatts of power by utilizing only 0.1% of land mass and generated over 1 lakh jobs, and this achieved in over one fiscal year. Another example, Germany. Germany has witnessed great amount of economic boom through renewable energy, and its own federal ministry has told that it was able to generate over 9 lakh lentic job in a span of just 2 years, and was able to achieve the title of the strongest economy across the European country from the staggered economy. And how can we ignore the fact that the very airport that I arrived today, Cochin International Airport, also functions on the renewable energy. And lastly, one might ask, how common citizens and students can play a role in realization of this dream? The answer is simple. Students can advocate to renewable energy awareness programs at the school and community levels, and common citizens can participate in solar rooftop initiatives. All these kind of demonstrate the support for renewables at the grassroots level. So I conclude by saying that.
Thank you, Team 1. You may now be seated amongst the audience.
Hello? Yes. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Start.
India is in the midst of the largest climate experiment the world has ever seen. Chronic shortages plague our nations for decades while energy demands have been rising rapidly. This experiment will determine whether global temperatures rise beyond a level where climate change becomes irreversible. Standing for the motion, allow me to break down exactly why this lofty goal will lead us to economic mayhem. Chief among several roadblocks is the absence of a clear long-term vision, holding back much-needed investment in infrastructure and renewable energy generation. Policy that does exist is limited by weak enforcement, uncertainty, or poor design. Climate Action Tracker has rated India's current policies and actions, stating this as insufficient. It needs much more improvement for it to reach the current limit of 1.5 degrees Celsius. If other cultures follow what India's approach is, climate temperatures may exceed 2 degrees or even reach 3. Moreover, current developed economies require... Thank you.
Thank you, contestant 2A. You may be seated on the hot chair. Now, can we have 2B to deliver your points against the motion? Are you ready?
Yes.
Start.
Picture this, a land where the sun's fiery kiss and the wind's playful dance power our homes, industries, and dreams. This is not a scene from a science fiction novel. This is India in 2030, reaching half its energy requirements without a whiff of smoke or a drop of oil. Now I know what you're thinking. Half by 2030. That's as likely as a snowball's chance in, well, India. But ladies and gentlemen, here's where the plot thickens. India is not just dreaming, it's doing. India has already overachieved its commitments made in the Paris Summit of 2021 by reaching 40% of its power capacity from non-fossil fuel, nearly 9 years ahead of its schedule. We are also one of the world's biggest producers of modern bioenergy and have huge potential to scale it up across our economy. Furthermore, renewable energy resources have seen a sharp cost decline in recent years, making it more competitive with conventional sources. But critics may argue that surging prices and market constraints might amplify India's energy insecurity, hindering sector reforms and exacerbating health issues caused by pollution and fossil fuels. But even here, India is ahead of the curve. Subsidies for diesel and petrol were removed in the early 2010s. incentives for electric vehicles were introduced in 2019, India's robust energy efficiency program has seen remarkable success in reducing energy consumption and emissions in buildings, transport, major industries. The nationwide fuel gas distribution system aids the transition from traditional biomass to cleaner cooking and heating methods. The transition to clean energy is a huge economic opportunity. India is particularly well placed to become a global leader in green hydrogen and renewable batteries. These and other low carbon technologies could create a market worth up to 80 billion in India within 2030. Also, India's climate change goals places the ball firmly in the court of the developed world to now show that we mean business. India has not been a historical contributor of greenhouse gas emissions. By all aspects, we did not have to take these global targets to reduce our carbon imprint. That is exactly why these are not just challenges for us to achieve, but challenges for the rest of the world to follow suit. Finally, clean energy is democratic. At the household level, facilities such as zero down payment options make it increasingly attractive to have solar power. The national portal for solar power has made it particularly accessible for households to apply for a support scheme to facilitate adoption. So let's just not talk economic development, just reimagine it. A world where economic development and clean energy comes together. Every rooftop is a solar power. Every wind brings with it the taste of progress. Because when it comes to renewable energy, India is changing the game. Thank you.
Thank you, Team 2. You may now be seated amongst the audience.
Can we have Team 3 on stage, please?
Can I start? Oh, fantastic! Let's rely on renewable energy so that we can all enjoy candlelight dinners every night after sunset. Pre-fossil era was not the utopia we envisioned. India's installed renewable energy capacity is only 179 gigawatts, whereas peak power demand in India is likely to cross 400 gigawatts by 2030. Coal plants can generate electricity 24 hours a day, rain or shine, all year long. Can solar panels do it? Does it have the ability? Pity of it suffers due to cooperative weather. Solar farm generate meaningful power less than 20% of its time. Obviously, it's not enough to cover huge nights and dark day gaps. We need something else, a lot of something else. What can it be? Hydrogen? It doesn't really work either. Great quantities of hydrogen is not found in the nature. Clean and green hydrogen is manufactured by electrolyzing water, and 2/3 of the energy is lost in the process itself. What about oil? What can take its place? We have not found a good substitute for oil. Though the supply is finite, we have the technology to extract it keep on improving, and oil is plentiful. Renewable energy is costly and requires huge amount of battery to save additional electricity produced and occupies a significant amount of land. Switching to renewable energy simply doesn't mean a group of individuals choosing a new way to power their home. It's about completely rethinking the way we live and the way we understand energy. It requires millions of households, schools, colleges, business, and transport centers to adjust how they run. It doesn't happen overnight. Even if the transition happens, economy will come to an halt. We'll face power failure. Production will decrease. International trade and global transportation will be affected. Frankly, to meet India's half of energy requirements by 2030 from renewables is an unrealistic option. We need something else. In India, the something else is filled with the power from coal and fossil fuels. We get 80% of electricity from fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are energy dense and they're available anywhere, anytime. So, though India is a net importer of petroleum products, it earns substantial revenue from cesses and taxes. It has pulled millions out of poverty. Do you think India has adequate technology to harness renewable energy efficiently and has strong policy implementation? Sun sets, wind stops blowing, river dries up when we need them the most. Nothing screams reliable energy than depending on Mother Nature's mood swings to power a house. Let's not depend on the mood swings of clouds to pay our energy bills. Let's get serious and think practical. Thank you.
Thank you, 3A. You may be seated on the hot chair. Are you ready?
Yes.
You may start.
Good evening to one all present here. I'm here to speak against the motion. Ever wondered what's happening while we are busy checking the latest IPL match updates? Well, India is silently making history as the proud host of the world's largest renewable energy park, Adani Green's Gandhar Renewable Energy Park. This solar marvel is so vast that one could see it from the space. Once completed, it can power up to 16 million homes every year and 58 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions can be avoided. Habibi, come to Dubai. I'm sure each and every one of us would have heard this come from a person wearing shades and a scarf over their head. Why do you think such promotion is required? This is because Dubai, being an economy which was initially built on the oil industry, is now diversifying its economy to tourism. This is due to the decline in the availability of fossil fuels. So, it's not just India. We have countries all over the world trying to reduce their dependence on fossil fuels. New Delhi, the capital of India, is one of the most polluted cities in the world. People over there find it difficult to even breathe proper quality air. What is the point in ensuring efficiency in energy generation when you can't ensure proper quality air to survive? In this era of digitalization, we have unemployment knocking us down. But now we have renewable energy to give us some glucose, and as it provides 3 times more job opportunities than that of conventional energy technologies. Renewable energy is like a pebble that is dropped in the pond. It creates ripples of economic prosperity. India said, hold my chai, and smashed 40% of its goal of renewable energy by 2021, leaving the Paris Agreement in dust. In fact, about the 80% of the crude oil we use and 20% of the coal we use is imported from abroad. This situation spells economic vulnerability and energy insecurity. Energy is a lifeline of a country. Therefore, it's high time we take measures to safeguard it. In this era of digitalization, it's high time we ensure that the energy is being appropriately safeguarded. Let us still not be in the 80s when we have Gen Alphas round the corner. Green hydrogen proves to be an all-rounder, right from decarbonizing the transportation to powering the industries. It can be used everywhere. Unlike my dear opponent sarcastically stated, our energy bills will never be dependent on the mood swings of the clouds, because green hydrogen proves to be an efficient energy because it can be saved as compressed gas for later use, thereby being a reliant source of energy. Nearly 400%. In the last 8.5 years, India has increased its non-renewable capacity by 396%. India can lead the other countries in renewable energy if we start investing right now and taking necessary measures to proceed forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team 3. Now you may join the audience.
May we now have on stage team member 4A speaking for the motion. 4B, you may please take a seat. Are you ready?
Yes.
Start.
India's Financial Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said in the interim budget 2024-25 the first central sector scheme based on grid solar power is allocated 10,000 CR compared to 4,000 CR last year. On the other hand, wind power is allocated 930 CR compared to 916 CR last year. Well, the budget allocation towards renewable energies in India typically involves redirecting funds from other sectors. We are now at 3 trillion GDP, aiming to become 5 trillion. India still has people to feed, youngsters to upskill, women in need of security, homeless people in need of shelter, industries, backward areas, infrastructure, so on and so forth. Yet India is still focusing on something gloomy. Take Germany's journey towards renewable energies in 2011, when Germany decided to move away from nuclear power and embrace renewable energies. Sometimes, when the sun wasn't shining enough or the wind wasn't blowing strong enough, Germany had to turn to old-fashioned fossil fuels to keep the lights on. Coming back to India, investing in solar power has brought many challenges, especially in terms of infrastructure strain. So the grid, which delivers power to homes and businesses, isn't ready for all this solar energy. As the world embraces renewable energy solutions, the rise of solar panel has been hailed as a key step towards sustainable future. However, the burgeoning issue of decomposing these solar panels has become a significant risk to human health. According to International Renewable Energy Agency, the solar panel waste could reach up to 78 million tons by 2015. And it does contain substances such as glass, aluminum, silicon, and hazardous substances such as lead and cadmium. Then, as the government shifts following elections in India, so do their promises and schemes. However, it seems that regardless of their administration, there's a common theme emerging: the push for large-scale housing schemes. Guys, where do we get all these large parcels of land and whom do we cater to? Housing or renewable resources? I don't think the dots are connecting. Let me give you my mind. Nuclear power offers a compelling case for both safety and efficiency, as it is less pollutable, more practicable, and consumes less land. I do agree that nuclear power emits carbon, but comparing to coal and comparing to solar and wind power, nuclear power emits less carbon. And it can provide electricity source that doesn't fluctuate with weather patterns. In conclusion, while India's ambition to derive half of its energy solutions by 2030 is commendable, but blindly pursuing this goal without considering its impact on economic development would be short-sighted. Let us not sacrifice our future prosperity for the sake of fleeting environmental targets. It's time to strike a balance between sustainability and economic growth for a brighter and more resilient future. I think we're hunting a three-legged rabbit. Thanks a ton for listening.
Thank you, 4A. You may please be seated on the hot chair. Now, can we have 4B to deliver your points against the motion? Are you ready? Please start.
Respected judges, honorable dignitaries, and my dear fellow debaters, good evening. Today, I am very excited to express my views on the resolution which is given to us. I strongly disagree with this statement and my opponent views. Allow me to produce my evidences favorable to my argument. India has already approximately 30% ahead to the committed timeline. The step was taken by the Indian government to meet its energy commitments by 2030, a decade ago, to cost 2.44 trillion. In last financial year, 23-24, India added about 17,000 megawatts of electricity generating capacity. In that, 92% is only from the renewable energy sector. Within the renewable energy sector, the rise of solar is remarkable. As at the end of March 2024, solar power installed capacity is 75,000 megawatts, and we have arrived the renewable energy sector capacity of 183,000 megawatts. Please do remember this figure. By the way, this figure is exactly one third of what India has committed to the world. And the greatest news is Indian government has announced it would auction 50,000 megawatts of solar, wind, hydropower plants every year. This is incredible. We've never done it before. Second thing is that my opponent has mentioned about economy and economic development, but she has completely forgotten about an important aspect. Before going to think about the economy, just think about our lives. Do you know how much pollution is happening because of this usage of non-renewable energy resource? 51%. 51% is only from the non-renewable energy industries. If we continuously use this non-renewable energy resource, which are causing absolutely severe damage to our health, then I am sure our future generations will suffer a lot. According to the study of WHO, the India is holding a position of third in greenhouse gas producer after China and USA. In India, the air pollution is contributing premature deaths of 2 million Indians every year. And the Indians are having 30% weaker lung functioning on non-smokers. So please do think about it, my friends. I want to conclude that I believe India will meet its energy requirements by 2030 from renewables, and it will make it practical. So I stand against this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Team 4. Please acquire your seats towards the end of the hall.
Can we have team number 5 on the stage? 5B, you may be seated on the hot chair. Ready? Yes, you may start.
Panchamrit, the elixir of life in ancient India. At Glasgow, it resurfaced as India's ambitious journey to meet its global green targets. The Sharkara of this Panchamrit is the target of India achieving half of its energy needs from renewable resources by 2030. Instead of being the Poshana to the India's Saptadadus, it can make India Shadashina. Good evening to all gathered here. Ashok Sharma, in his book, India's Pursuit of Energy Security, has put forward the claim that the government's plan to phase out coal is over-optimistic and unrealistic, as coal is indispensable for India's electricity needs. Even when compound annual growth rate reports predict that in the coming years, India to experience 5 times energy requirements, it is very much impractical that relying upon these variable and intermittent sources like renewable will be for country and will of course hurt the economic development. Why? Firstly, in terms of employment, 3 million are employed in the mining sector alone, and the Coal India Limited employs 3 lakh people. And a total of 15 million are dependent upon the coal industry. What we have here is the another factor that the capital intensive nature of these renewable resources will create high initial investment cost which can strain the country's exchequer. The economic viability is in question here. In case of solar power, essential raw materials are in shortage in the country, and rare earth materials for controls and notable fiberglass for blade construction is also a shortage in the country. And adding on to this is a fact that the Zurich University professor Alex Miklova in his 2019 study has put forward that this energy transition will make India more unequal. Why? India's mineral-rich states are in the eastern and the central part of the country, whereas in the cruel quirk of geography, 6 of the 8 Indian states that receive most of the sunshine and wind are in the south and the western part of the country. Sanjay Mitra, in his working paper by the National Public Finance and Policy, he put forward that
the fiscal deficits of these states are likely to balloon as the coal revenue will decline in these states. And what else? These renewable energy rich states, and they owe a lot to these independent power producers. 5 southern states owe rupees 9736 crore to the independent power producers, and the whole of the country owe rupees 117 billion. Finally, in a country where 85% of the solar materials are imported from countries like Vietnam, Russia, and Chinese as well, we have to see a long distance future whereby we are running backwards in the time to a time of colonialism, and the magnitude of foreign dependence for achieving these targets is highly reactive or highly impractical for the country. Where in a country where the renewable energy projects have been a failure in the country, where Odandurai wind power project in Tamil Nadu was failed due to the rising wood price, and the Dharnai project in the Bihar was failed and the village shifted back to coal-based heat. It is high time that India should think and realize that these targets are impractical and will of course hurt the economic development of the country. Thank you.
Thank you, 5A. You may be seated on the hot chair. Now we have 5B to deliver your points against the motion. Are you ready?
Yes.
You may start.
Good evening to one and all. I strongly disagree with the topic. Let me begin by stating adopting renewable energy is a necessity and not a choice. According to World Resource Institute report, India contributes 6.65% of global carbon emissions due to its larger consumption of coal. If this humongous consumption of carbon continues, it might lead to disastrous effects on the environment and deteriorating effects on the human resources of this country, which could eventually create a negative impact on the economic prospects of our nation. Therefore, renewable energy, which is a lesser carbon emitter, is really beneficial for our country in the longer run. Now, I'd like to refute the argument that India's renewable energy targets are impractical. We have to see the scenario of India, which, according to the Government of India's Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, had just 17 gigawatts of energy capacity back in 2010, and that multi-folded to 135 gigawatt. That is almost 10 times its initial growth in just 13 years, and the third largest in the world. This is where the very practicality of the vision that the state has foreseen many years ago is being unveiled. And we have to understand, if Sweden could achieve 50% of its energy capacity from renewable energy in 2012, 8 years ahead of its own target. If Costa Rica could achieve 98% of its generated electricity from renewable resources alone, then for India, a country so rich in solar, wind and shoreline powers could easily achieve the Panchamrita, the five-fold strategy that aims at achieving 500 gigawatt non-fossil fuel energy by 2030 and net zero carbon emissions by 2070. Also, my worthy opponent spoke about the economic bottlenecks of renewable energy transition. A study conducted by Ernst and Young India pointed out, India's renewable energy transition investment potential has reached $240 billion US. This immense amount of investment guarantees a huge boost to our GDP and our economy in the longer run. And one of the most promising factors of the sector is the employment it generates, as the government is investing more and more in projects like Kutch renewable energy hybrid parks in states like Gujarat and ultra mega solar power plants. Vast amount of jobs are being created, and a report from the International Renewable Energy Agency stated the very jobs created from this sector has touched 10.3 million jobs in 2017 alone. On top of all this, we have to understand, as these resources are available indigenously, this saves our economy from the supply chain shocks that are being so frequent due to the geopolitical conflicts like Red Sea crisis and Russia-Ukraine war. I'd like to conclude that adopting and embracing renewable energy transition not just gives us a practical sense, but serves as a catalyst towards sustainability and economic growth of our nation. Thank you and have a thoughtful day.
Thank you, Team 5. You may now join the audience.
May we now have on stage team member 6A speaking for the motion. 6B, please take a seat on the hot chair. Are you ready, contestant? Please start.
Speaking for the motion. Dream of a future where India stands as a global leader in renewable energy, a beacon of sustainability for the world to emulate. Now let's wake up and face the reality. The dazzling promises of a utopian future masks a harsh reality that threatens to cripple India's economic prowess. A hasty decision that can undo years of hard work and create ripples of unexpected consequences. It's the year 2024. India is one of the fastest growing economies and the 5th largest economy in the world. We're about to hit the $5 trillion mark. It took us more than 75 years of hard work and determination to reach here. A seemingly ambitious goal to meet half of our energy requirements within the next 6 years through renewables can prove to be fatal to India's growing economy. As per the statistics of National Statistics Office, during the year 2023, 8.24% of our energy requirements were met by renewables. Now, to turn this 8% to anything double-digit will require a substantial amount of infrastructural development. Building new transmission lines, substations, and storage facilities is a massive undertaking that comes with substantial costs and logistical challenges. Rush development may lead to the outcome being subpar. And sudden influx of intermittent renewable energy could further strain the already overburdened grid, leading to inefficiencies and reliability issues. Now, who will bear these costs, ladies and gentlemen? Will it be the already overburdened taxpayers, or will it be the small and medium enterprises struggling to stay afloat in a challenging economic environment? India's manufacturing and agricultural sector, which are vital for our economic development, rely heavily upon stable and affordable energy supply. A sudden transmission to renewables can disrupt these sectors. Higher energy costs and supply uncertainties could drive up production costs, making India's goods less competitive in global market. This in turn could lead to less exports and loss of market share, ultimately hampering our economic development. The sheer human audacity to think that the sun will shine brighter and the wind will blow faster, according to our dictates, will lead us to do. And with this arrogance, we are prepared to gamble with the future of India. And all for what? Just to look good in photo ops. Let's not forget the millions employed in thermal power plants and coal mines. A transmission to renewables threatens to render these hardworking individuals jobless. The families of these men hang in balance, sacrificed at the altar of greener idealism. As we chase the mirage of social utopia, let's not stumble blindly into the desert of economic peril. For every watt of solar glory, there's a shadow of uncertainty cast upon the livelihoods of many. Let's not weave a tapestry of progress from the threats of haste and neglect. The winds of change may blow, but let's not be swept away by the folly of our ambitions. In the dance between dreams and reality, let's tread lightly, for the footprints we leave today will shape the landscape for tomorrow. Because behind every figure lies a dream, a story, and a struggle. Thank you.
Thank you, 6A. You may be seated on the hot chair. Now, can we have 6B to deliver your points against the motion? Are you ready? Start.
Speaking against the motion, ladies and gentlemen, let me whisk you away on a tantalizing tale of transformation, a saga of skepticism based on steadfast reliance. Picture a time when the mere mention of harnessing atomic energy sends shivers down spines, reminiscent of the catastrophic Oppenheimer moment. Yet today, we cling to it like a sailor to a sturdy mast in a tempest, navigating the vast expanse of our modern existence. The once feared atom has now become our ally in the fight against climate change. But our journey doesn't end here. Imagine a world where the sun is not just a celestial body, but a golden reservoir of limitless energy waiting to be tapped. Picture wind turbines spinning gracefully atop hills, harnessing boundless breeze. Envision oceans roaring with life, yet silently whispering the secrets of tidal energy.
Welcome to the realm of renewable energy, a realm where economic growth thrives unshackled from the chains of fossil fuels. Now let me paint a picture of economic development amid submerged nations swallowed by global warming. It's not just progress we seek, it's survival itself that demands a redefinition. We as a nation have pledged our allegiance to the Paris Agreement and our unwavering commitment to the Panchamrit Action Plan. We have surpassed our expectations by achieving 40% of our energy requirements through renewables. And that is according to the COP26 summit. And mark my words, achieving the remaining 10% within the next 6 years is not a mere mirage, but an attainable reality. It is to be understood that renewable energy is not the antagonist of economic development. It is its steadfast ally. Now let me first address the elephant in the room, that is the myth of job loss. According to the International Energy Agency, every dollar invested in renewables leads to 3 times more jobs than the fossil fuel industries. The estimates show that even though there's a job loss of 5 million in the fossil fuel industry by 2030, an estimate of 14 million new jobs will be created in clean energy, resulting in a net gain of 9 million jobs. This is not just a drop in the bucket, it's a deluge of economic employment opportunities cascading through the economy. And with regard to costs, while first infrastructural concerns may raise eyebrows, yet every penny invested leads to reduced healthcare services, expenditures, reduced pollution, as well as mitigated climate change controls. And with non-state actors contributing, infrastructural concerns have been elevated. And every penny invested in renewable energy is like sowing a seed in a fertile soil, initial efforts yielding bountiful harvests in the years to come. So let us not dismiss renewable energy as a mere pipe dream. It is in fact the golden ticket towards economic development. And as the famous American essayist Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, that the creation of 1,000 forests is in 1 acorn. And in the seeds of renewable energy investment lies the forest of economic abundance, eagerly waiting to thrive and flourish. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team 6. You may take seats towards the back of the auditorium.
That, ladies and gentlemen, was the last speaker for the preliminary round of the Maria Philip Future Leaders debate. There's something unique about this event. It's being held for the very first time in God's own country, Kerala. Indeed, it was a tough competition, and we are sure that the judges will find it no easy feat to determine the winners. As the judges tabulate the results, we will take a short tea break for 20 minutes. Tea is being served outside the auditorium. We request you all to join us for tea and return back refreshed for the super final round by 6:50.
We request the audience to assemble back for the super final round within 20 minutes. Once again, we request you to ensure that your mobile phones are on silent mode when you walk in and around. Thank you.
To do a PGDM at XIME Bangalore, Chennai or Kochi, whether they specialize in marketing, finance, HR, operations or IT and analytics. Their transformation journey begins from day one with the intense academic program covering Harvard Business School case studies. The fully residential program that ensures all students get equal access to faculty, library, computer center and a chance for close collaboration with fellow students. Here students can join many exciting and highly competitive clubs, participate and win trophies at socially.
But around the carpet, if it is there, it will look good.
Nice.
It will look good. Anyway, 6 only, not 2 here. It's up to you.
It's up to you.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
And productive activity projects. Along with grading, the students are ensured that their social responsibility is also a key leadership quality. All this combines to prepare XIME students for tough interviews, great jobs, and real-life challenges, which is why we have an exemplary placement record at all 3 campuses at India's best companies.
So I would welcome you to XIME. Come, we have a beautiful campus which reverberates with activities all the time. And you are all key actors. You will be key actors. You are not just followers, you will be leaders. Come enjoy the ambience. Come enjoy the learning. Come and be part of the future.
PGDM with specialization in marketing, finance, HR, IT and analytics. PGDM in business analytics offered in XIME Bangalore. Admissions open. Apply now. XIME. Step in to learn. Step out to lead. For 30 years, XIME, the Xavier Institute of Management and Entrepreneurship, has opened its doors to avid learners who after 2 rigorous years have left as leaders. Whether students chose to do a PGDM at XIME Bangalore, Chennai or Kochi, whether they specialize in marketing, finance, HR, operations or IT,
Hello? Hello?
Check, check.
XIME has risen to one of the top management colleges in India.
with fully residential campuses in Bangalore, Kochi and Chennai.
Check.
Let me offer my congratulations and prayers to Professor Philip, who is completing 60 years of his teaching career, starting from his days at XIME to the present moment as the chairman of XIME Bangalore. Professor Philip is a man of character. He respects others in different strata of the society and ensures the support and encouragement of the authorities of the government and of the society for all his activities. He is a man of a deep faith in God, and he believes that it is God's grace that is behind his success in life.
I'd like to start by thanking God for giving me these 60 years and taking me up to this 84 years. It's a very satisfying run. It's a long run. But looking back, it's a very satisfying run. Stephen Covey, the famous writer, author of this book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, have asked one question. Start with the end in mind. So I asked this question. Okay, my end is not too far away. So how did I live if I were to start all over again? Now, I think I had done certain things for the good of the country, for the good of the youth of India, for the good of the cause of education. The most exciting thing that happened to me was the founding of XIME. That was the most satisfying thing. Very dear to my heart. It was very dear to my heart because it was the advice, plea of my late daughter, Maria. She was the one who asked me a week before she died that I must found a business school after my term with IIM Bangalore. So every time I see the 180 students streaming out of this place at the convocation, I'm reminded of her. It was her advice.
As a passionate teacher, Professor Philip always yearned to make education more relevant to society and more meaningful to people, thus making his vision of an international school come true. The new school campus, proposed to function next academic year, is coming up on the banks of River Meenachal. Amid the sprawling greenery in Pallikunda, a calm and serene zero-polluted village area. Team XIME is delighted to welcome each one of you to the foundation stone laying ceremony of our new initiative at 4 p.m. on Monday.
Years, XIME, the Xavier Institute of Management and Entrepreneurship, has opened its doors to avid learners who after 2 rigorous years have left as leaders. Whether students chose to do a PGDM at XIME Bangalore, Chennai or Kochi, whether they specialize in marketing, finance, HR, operations or IT and analytics, their transformation journey begins from day 1 with the intense academic program covering Harvard Business School case studies. the fully residential program that ensures all students get equal access to faculty, library, computer center, and a chance for close collaboration with fellow students. Here, students can join many exciting and highly competitive clubs, participate and win trophies at Pan India Fests. They organize and fundraise XIME Fests as part of socially useful and productive activity projects. Along with grading, the students are ensured that their social responsibility is also a key leadership quality. All this combines to prepare XIME students for tough interviews, great jobs, and real-life challenges, which is why we have an exemplary placement record at all 3 campuses at India's best companies.
So I would welcome you to XIME. Come, we have a beautiful campus which reverberates with activities all the time. And you are all key actors. You will be key actors. You are not just followers, you will be leaders. Come enjoy the ambience. Come enjoy the learning. Come and be part of the future.
PGDM with specialization in marketing, finance, HR, IT and analytics. PGDM in business analytics offered in XIME Bangalore. Admissions open. Apply now. XIME. Step in to learn. Step out to lead.
From its humble beginning at Bangalore, XIME has risen to one of the top management colleges in India, with fully residential campuses in Bangalore, Kochi and Chennai.
Let me offer my congratulations and prayers to Professor Philip, who is completing 60 years of his teaching career, starting from his days at XLRI to the present moment as the chairman of XIME Bangalore. Professor Philip is a man of character. He respects others in different strata of the society and ensures the support and encouragement of the authorities of the government and of the society for all his activities. He is a man of a deep faith in God, and he believes that it is God's grace that is behind his success in life.
I'd like to start by thanking God for giving me these 60 years and taking me up to this 84 years. It's a very satisfying run. It's a long, long run. But looking back, it's a very, very satisfying run. Stephen Covey, the famous writer, author of this book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, have asked one question. Start with the end in mind. So I asked this question. Okay, my end is not too far away. So how did I live if I were to start all over again? Now, I think I had done certain things for the good of the country, for the good of the youth of India, for the good of the cause of education. The most exciting thing that happened to me was the founding of XIME. That was the most satisfying thing. Very dear to my heart. It was very dear to my heart because it was the advice, plea of my late daughter, Maria. She was the one who asked me a week before she died that I must found a business school after my term with IIM Bangalore. So every time I see the 180 students streaming out of this place at the convocation, I'm reminded of her. It was her advice.
As a passionate teacher, Professor Philip always yearned to make education more relevant to society and more meaningful to people, thus making his vision of an international school come true. The new school campus, proposed to function next academic year, is coming up on the banks of River Meenachal. Amid the sprawling greenery in Pallikunda, a calm and serene zero-polluted village area. Team XIME is delighted to welcome each one of you to the foundation stone laying ceremony of our new initiative at 4 p.m. on Monday.
For 30 years, XIME, the Xavier Institute of Management and Entrepreneurship, has opened its doors to avid learners who after 2 rigorous years have left as leaders. Whether students chose to do a PGDM at XIME Bangalore, Chennai or Kochi, whether they specialize in marketing, finance, HR, operations or IT and analytics, their transformation journey begins from day 1 with the intense academic program covering Harvard Business School case studies. The fully residential program that ensures all students get equal access to faculty, library, computer center, and a chance for close collaboration with fellow students. Here students can join many exciting and highly competitive clubs, participate and win trophies at Pan India Fests. They organize and fundraise XIME Fests as part of socially useful and productive activity projects. Along with grading, the students are ensured that their social responsibility is also a key leadership quality. All this combines to prepare XIME students for tough interviews, great jobs and real-life challenges, which is why we have an exemplary placement record at all 3 campuses at India's best companies.
So I would welcome you to XIME. Come, we have a beautiful campus which reverberates with activities all the time. And you are all key actors. You will be key actors. You are not just followers, you will be leaders. Come enjoy the ambience. Come enjoy the learning. Come be part of the future.
PGDM with specialization in marketing, finance, HR, IT and analytics. PGDM in business analytics offered in XIME Bangalore. Admissions open. Apply now. XIME. Step in to learn. Step out to lead.
From its humble beginning at Bangalore, XIME has risen to one of the top management colleges in India, with fully residential campuses in Bangalore, Kochi and Chennai.
Let me offer my congratulations and prayers to Professor Philip, who is completing 60 years of his teaching career, starting from his days at XLRI to the present moment as the chairman of XIME Bangalore. Professor Philip is a man of character. He respects others in different strata of the society and ensures the support and encouragement of the authorities of the government and of the society for all his activities. He is a man of a deep faith in God, and he believes that it is God's grace that is behind his success in life.
I'd like to start by thanking God for giving me these 60 years and taking me up to this 84 years. It's a very satisfying run. It's a long, long run. But looking back, it's a very, very satisfying run. Stephen Covey, the famous writer, author of this book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, have asked one question. Start with the end in mind. So I asked this question. Okay, my end is not too far away. So how did I live if I were to start all over again? Now, I think I had done certain things for the good of the country, for the good of the youth of India, for the good of the cause of education. The most exciting thing that happened to me was the founding of XIME. That was the most satisfying thing. Very dear to my heart. It was very dear to my heart because it was the advice, plea of my late daughter, Maria. She was the one who asked me a week before she died that I must found a business school after my term with IIM Bangalore. So every time I see the 180 students streaming out of this place at the convocation, I'm reminded of her. It was her advice.
As a passionate teacher, Professor Philip always yearned to make education more relevant to society and more meaningful to people, thus making his vision of an international school come true. The new school campus, proposed to function next academic year, is coming up on the banks of River Meenachal. Amid the sprawling greenery in Pallikunda, a calm and serene zero-polluted village area. Team XIME is delighted to welcome each one of you to the foundation stone laying ceremony of our new initiative at 4 p.m. on Monday.
For 30 years, XIME, the Xavier Institute of Management and Entrepreneurship, has opened its doors to avid learners who after 2 rigorous years have left as leaders. Whether students chose to do a PGDM at XIME Bangalore, Chennai or Kochi, whether they specialize in marketing, finance, HR, operations or IT and analytics, their transformation journey begins from day one with the intense academic program covering Harvard Business School case studies. The fully residential program that ensures all students get equal access to faculty, library, computer center, and a chance for close collaboration with fellow students. Here students can join many exciting and highly competitive clubs, participate and win trophies at Pan-India Fests. They organize and fundraise XIME Fests as part of socially useful and productive activity projects. Along with grading, the students are ensured that their social responsibility is also a key leadership quality. All this combines to prepare XIME students for tough interviews, great jobs, and real-life challenges, which is why we have an exemplary placement record at all 3 campuses at India's best companies.
So I would welcome you to XIME. Come, we have a beautiful campus which reverberates with activities all the time. And you are all key actors. You will be key actors. You are not just followers, you will be leaders. Come enjoy the ambience. Come enjoy the learning. Come and be part of the future.
PGDM with specialization in marketing, finance, HR, IT and analytics. PGDM in business analytics offered in XIME Bangalore. Admissions open. Apply now. XIME. Step in to learn. Step out to lead. 30 years, XIME, the Xavier Institute of Management and Entrepreneurship, has opened its doors to avid learners who, after 2 rigorous years, have left as leaders. Whether students chose to do a PGDM at XIME Bangalore, Chennai, or Kochi, whether they specialize in marketing, finance, HR, operations, or IT and analytics, their transformation journey begins from day one with the intense academic program covering Harvard Business School case studies. The fully residential program that ensures all students get equal access to faculty, library, computer center, and a chance for close collaboration with fellow students. Here, students can join many exciting and highly competitive clubs, participate and win trophies at Pan India Fests. They organize and fundraise XIME Fests as part of socially useful and productive activity projects. Along with grading, the students are ensured that their social responsibility is also a key leadership quality. All this combines to prepare XIME students for tough interviews, great jobs, and real-life challenges, which is why we have an exemplary placement record at all 3 campuses at India's best companies.
So I would welcome you to XIME. Come, we have a beautiful campus which reverberates with activities all the time. And you are all key actors. You will be key actors. You are not just followers, you will be leaders. Come enjoy the ambience. Come enjoy the learning. Come and be part of the future.
PGDM with specialization in marketing, finance, HR, IT and analytics. PGDM in business analytics offered in XIME Bangalore. Admissions open. Apply now. XIME. Step in to learn. Step out to lead.
From its humble beginning at Bangalore, XIME has risen to one of the top management colleges in India, with fully residential campuses in Bangalore, Kochi and Chennai.
Let me offer my congratulations and prayers to Professor Philip, who is completing 60 years of his teaching career, starting from his days at XLRI to the present moment as the chairman of XIME Bangalore. Professor Philip is a man of character. He respects others in different strata of the society and ensures the support and encouragement of the authorities of the government and of the society for all his activities. He is a man of a deep faith in God, and he believes that it is God's grace that is behind his success in life.
I'd like to start by thanking God for giving me these 60 years and taking me up to this 84 years. It's a very satisfying run. It's a long, long run. But looking back, it's a very, very satisfying run. Stephen Covey, the famous writer, author of this book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, have asked one question. Start with the end in mind. So I asked this question. Okay, my end is not too far away. So how did I live if I were to start all over again? Now, I think I had done certain things for the good of the country, for the good of the youth of India, for the good of the cause of education. The most exciting thing that happened to me was the founding of XIME. That was the most satisfying thing. Very dear to my heart. It was very dear to my heart because it was the advice, plea of my late daughter, Maria. She was the one who asked me a week before she died that I must found a business school after my term with IIM Bangalore. So every time I see the 180 students streaming out of this place at the convocation, I'm reminded of her. It was her advice.
As a passionate teacher, Professor Philip always yearned to make education more relevant to society and more meaningful to people, thus making his vision of an international school come true. The new school campus, proposed to function next academic year, is coming up on the banks of River Meenachal. Amid the sprawling greenery in Pallikunda, a calm and serene zero-polluted village area. Team XIME is delighted to welcome each one of you to the foundation stone laying ceremony of our new initiative at 4 p.m. on Monday.
For 30 years, XIME, the Xavier Institute of Management and Entrepreneurship, has opened its doors to avid learners who after 2 rigorous years have left as leaders. Whether students chose to do a PGDM at XIME Bangalore, Chennai or Kochi, whether they specialize in marketing, finance, HR, operations or IT and analytics, their transformation journey begins from day one with the intense academic program covering Harvard Business School case studies. The fully residential program that ensures all students get equal access to faculty, library, computer center, and a chance for close collaboration with fellow students. Here students can join many exciting and highly competitive clubs, participate and win trophies at Pan-India Fests. They organize and fundraise XIME Fests as part of socially useful and productive activity projects. Along with grading, the students are ensured that their social responsibility is also a key leadership quality. All this combines to prepare XIME students for tough interviews, great jobs and real-life challenges, which is why we have an exemplary placement record at all 3 campuses at India's best companies.
So I would welcome you to XIME. Come, we have a beautiful campus which reverberates with activities all the time. And you are all key actors. You will be key actors. You are not just followers, you will be leaders. Come enjoy the ambience. Come enjoy the learning. Come and be part of the future.
PGDM with specialization in marketing, finance, HR, IT and analytics. PGDM in business analytics offered in XIME Bangalore. Admissions open. Apply now. XIME. Step in to learn. Step out to lead.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to resume the function and we thank you for your patience. The judges have carefully evaluated the result of the prelims round and 3 teams were selected based on the set parameters. To announce the names of the finalists who've made it to the super final round, may I please invite our dear judge, Ms. Anisha Cherian, to kindly take the stage, break the suspense, and announce the finalists.
Good evening to you all. You can see me, I don't have to go up the stage. Are you excited? Yes. Is there nervousness? Yes. Okay, so let me just say that, all the judges were thoroughly confused because we just heard for and against, okay, continuously. So even though we had clarity before we came for the competition, now we are thoroughly confused. So it was fantastic, the kind of, the diction, the body language, eye contact, content. So all of it put together, okay, it was a fantastic presentation here, and as judges, we have thoroughly enjoyed, each and every participants and the way they have presented for the debate. Now I have the opportunity to declare the winners for this round. So on behalf of Mr. George, Ms. Biji, Juni, and Mr. Anil, let me declare the 3 teams who are now moving on to the final round. Okay? So we have team 3 who's moving to the final round. Please give them a round of applause, everybody. We have team 5 who's moving to the final round. And last we have team 6 that is moving to the final round. Please, come on, we need more excitement and energy. Okay, thank you. Now we go to the second round, and all the best to each one of you.
Our heartiest congratulations to the winning team. Thank you, ma'am, for announcing the results. Now, we request all the finalists to move to the stage and acquire their respective seats as their names were announced. We request Team 3, Team 5, and Team 6 to please acquire the seats on the stage.
Moving ahead, the teams have to gear up for action. The finalists now have to enter another war of words, the super final round. But before we proceed, it is important to familiarize ourselves with the rules for this round. The rules and regulation are as follows. So only 3 teams have qualified for the finals after the prelims. The finals will be conducted in the form of a Q&A session. Judges will pose questions to assess the speaker's knowledge on the given topic. Each speaker will receive 2 questions based on their speech in the preliminary round. Judges would evaluate the students based on the quality of their responses, including correctness, clarity, conciseness, and body language while responding. We wish the contesting teams the very best. May the most deserving one take the trophy.
The first team to face the Q&A round is Team 3. Chest 3A, you may now take the mic.
Yeah, I will ask the first question to you. This is with regard to the coal-rich states. You know that renewable energy called rich states, certain states like Jharkhand, Orissa, Chhattisgarh, these are the states that produce 70% of the coal. They have the 70% of coal reserves of the country, and they produce 60% of the production of coal. How do you think, our ambitious plan to increase renewable energy capacity will affect these states and the economy of these states?
Sir, actually, as you said, like all these places, they have 60% of coal available there. But can you just explain once more?
Yeah, the point is that, renewable energy is based on either solar power or wind power. Okay, so it can happen only in places where abundant supply of solar energy is available or wind energy is available. In India, there are states where there are rich potential for solar energy or wind energy, and there are some states where they don't have that potential. 3 states which I mentioned here are the states which have abundant supply of coal, and they depend on thermal energy production. So what happens, if government goes with the target of increasing solar production and solar or wind production, how is it going to affect these states? Because we have one of the things we discuss, how is it going to affect the economy of these states? Will there be any disparities between states which are rich in solar potential or wind potential, or states which do not have that potential?
So states which have who are rich in this non-renewable sources will be able to produce more of electricity, so that the production of the any factories or industries situated there, they'll produce more as the electricity is high. So that there will be a lot of international trade and global transportation from that country, from the places. But the places which are rich in renewable energy, even though they get electricity from renewable energy, it's not that efficient. So that all these will be affected. They might not produce more. They might not get electricity. It's not sufficient enough to meet the requirement of that entire place. So yeah.
Just one question, 2 questions. Yeah, the point what you said, okay, do you think that these states have to cut down their coal production and then go for solar energy or this thing, and cut down the coal production means they have to shut down their thermal plants, and then there will be so much consequences for that. So that is what I was trying to find out from you. What will be the impact on the state's economy? This is what I just asked. So do you feel there is a disparity that is going to happen in the economic development between states within the country if you go ahead with the plan of 50% renewable energy sources capacity building by 2030?
Yes, sir. Of course, there will be disparities. How? Because I'm telling you, the production, the factories and industries situated there, they might not be able to produce more, because for ages, for so many years, we are dependent on non-renewable energy. And India gets electricity, 80% of electricity from non-renewable, from fossil fuels. So if you suddenly change, or if the renewable energy is dominating, 50%, obviously it's not that efficient to, to fulfill all the requirements of the production or something else. So that it will obviously affect. Thank you.
Thank you, 3A. Please be seated. Chest 3B, you may now take the mic.
Now, this is also related to the same question that I've asked. She has explained it a little bit, but then these coal-rich states will affect in 2 ways. One is they may have to cut down their coal production, and they have to depend on renewable energy from other sources. That means they may have to import energy from some other source, and they, at the same time they have to incur costs for that. At the same time, they have to cut down production. Do you believe that such a cutting down of production will be needed if when we target for a 500 gigawatt renewable energy?
Sir, in my point, if a country is rich in coal or fossil fuels, let it continue to harness energy from it. And there are many other states apart from those states. Like we have Gujarat, we have Rajasthan. Over these places, they are mostly like it's a desert. So the heat we receive, the solar energy that can be harnessed over there is much more than what can be harnessed from the states you stated. So let us have, if a state is capable to produce non-renewable energy, let it continue to do. And let us focus more on those states which has more capacity and capability to produce non-renewable energy. Because let that states continue to produce non-renewable energy. And we'll divert our focus on to the other states. So thereby there will be no economical imbalances.
Okay. I just want to clarify one thing. When you were presenting some of the presentations, telling you have a feeling that coal production or thermal energy will come down, or we may have to close down. But you should look at 2030. What is going to be the total energy requirement of the country? And of which, how much solar energy or renewable energy is going to contribute? Only 50%. So where does the other 50% come?
So it comes from the non-renewable energy, from coal.
Yeah, it comes. So do you think that there will be the issues that we raise? There will be closing down of thermal plants or reducing or creating unemployment immediately. That is going to happen. Just we go ahead with this target of renewable energy.
So I believe that renewable energy goes in hand with non-renewable energy. Okay. So it doesn't mean that it completely will replace non-renewable energy. We'll of course have non-renewable energy, but the percentage of the energy that's going to be harnessed can be, it can be divided between the non-renewables.
Yeah, what I would like to clarify at this point is that as at present, 40% of the total energy requirement comes from the renewable sources. Other 60% comes from other sources. So when you have a formula of 50%, what will happen? There is another 50% for the other category. Yes. So it's not going to have, you can say that there will be going to be an impact, but it is, as you rightly said, growing parallelly. It's not so, something, which is not going to impact so much. It's a viewpoint only. I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, 3B.
There is high investment that is required, which is a challenge. But in fact, if any kind of investment that is coming in the country, either it is public capex or private capex or harnessing whatever is that is available in the country itself, does that create more opportunity, more job opportunities, or bringing in more capital even through FDI or FII or whatever it is? So it's, on the contrary, we can think that is an investment, an opportunity for the country, right?
May I understand the question? Even if it is a high investment, in the long term, it's a benefit. Ma'am, the real concern here is about from CFL bulbs to the solar panels. After their lifetime, they are just electronic waste. So what we are currently investing, looking in the long term, we are just investing on electronic waste. The waste management in a not too distant future will be a big problem for a country like India, where we have no place to dump these wastes. So the investment that we are currently doing, or what we are currently investing, is in the waste of the almost, let's say, 30 or 40 years later. So that's one point. The other is a factor that we have many other resources that we should focus upon instead of renewable energy. Take, for example, nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is a non-renewable source. Homi J. Bhabha is a famous Indian scientist. He, through his life, aimed to solve the India's energy crisis through nuclear reactors. And I will give an instance. Thorium which is a source for many nuclear reactors, a thorium of a football size can feed Sweden for 60 to 70 years. Not the point, like a thorium of a football size can feed Sweden for 50 to 60 years for its complete electricity. Imagine the capability or efficiency of these nuclear reactors if we are bringing that into the Indian context. And adding on to that is the point that this renewable energy investments, they are further aggravating the unequal nature in the Indian states, especially as earlier it was questioned by like these coal-rich states, what will they do? They are facing a current very big trouble because take the example of Uttar Pradesh. They have set their solar targets, in 2023 solar targets, and they were not able to achieve that. Two reasons. First, the uneven distribution of the solar projects, like the potential areas of solar are very less in the state. Second, it's the lack of connectivity of the electricity grid. Because these renewable energy, they are intermittent. Like we don't have an efficient technology in the country right now, which makes sure that these renewable resources are efficiently transported from one location to another. That I guess answered your question, ma'am. Thank you.
So the cost is basically connected to that efficiency as well. That's why you say it's not cost efficient maybe.
Yeah.
So coming to the next question, you were mentioning that since this kind of investment in terms of the distribution or transformers or whatever it is, even the solar panels, whatever it is, all these we will be dependent upon the imports. And because of that, colonialism may come in. But on the contrary, for the fossil fuel as well, we are a net importer of oil, isn't it? Then how it is matching?
Ma'am, the very factor we have to notice that we have coal mines in the country. That's a very important factor that we have to keep that in mind. And now talking about the imports, this renewable energy is a big question here. Like the question really should be, can renewable energy create a network of countries whereby it can make sure that each and every country will be self-sufficient in itself? The answer would be no. Because renewable energy is limited to certain sectors or certain areas of the country. India is blessed in that case because it's a tropical country. But we can't take that for the whole of the country. We have to rely upon coal resources also. And I wish to note an instance here when COP28, while Narendra Modi, the Honorable Prime Minister of the country, while he was ending his speech, he made it very clear that the country is looking forward for foreign assistance in meeting these targets. There we are just surrendering our capability, our efficiency, the future of the country to other big nations. And I would like to add another point because look at other developed countries. The target that India right now has set in is very ironical because France, by 2030, they aim at just 40%. China, a bigger emittent of CO2, they just aim at 35%. Japan, 22 to 24%. It is in that situation that India as a country is aiming 50%. Whereby population and economic growth is rising day by day and India can't even solve its basic problems like poverty. So our investment should come in areas where we need them, not in some futuristic waste management system, ma'am.
So basically should be make in India or find from India itself rather than depending on other countries.
In a sort, yes, ma'am. And we should look into more possibilities. Like I earlier mentioned about Homi J. Baba, there are many visionaries that we should follow in this path. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, 5A. 5B, please take up the mic.
Yes, hi. So you were mentioning that when we are moving towards renewable energy, we are moving towards less carbon emitting situation. But imagine the kind of battery production that we have to do when this transition towards EV is happening and the charging that they are doing, whatever they are doing is through the brown energy only. So how it can be lesser carbon emitting one?
I'd like to say that one of the most promising features of this sector is the research and development that every country is putting onto this. We can understand through development, now through research and development, the sustainability of solar panel cells has been developed to 96%, and still we are working on to make it 100%. There are two types of solar panels, one based on silicon and the other on thin cell. When it comes to silicon, the sustainability is 95% for the glass and 85% for the silicon materials. Just imagine something that is being recycled every time in just 13 years still could provide for the nation. So we can say that the emissions of carbon of plastic are very minimal when it comes to renewable energy sources. Also, we have to understand in comparison to electric vehicles and the batteries they are using. When it comes to the batteries, the amount of batteries being used is very little and the amount of carbon emission is very little when compared to the gasoline vehicles. There are clear-cut statistics that states the gasoline vehicles emitting more and more carbon to the environment is gifting us with all these environmental impacts. And if we are replacing it with more and more electric vehicles with higher sustainability, we are really growing our economy to a new height.
Okay, thank you. So in terms of the imports that you were touching upon, we are dependent more on oil imports and everything, and when any kind of crisis, the geopolitical crisis that is coming in and on, and you mentioned the Red Sea crisis. So what is basically the Red Sea crisis?
Red Sea crisis is a crisis that is happening in between Palestine and Israel. So we can understand in such a case, we can't be dependent on any state for a non-renewable resource. In case of Israel, we could say the nuclear resources we are being dependent on. We do not have...
What is the Red Sea crisis?
Red Sea crisis is referring to the conflict that is being currently happening between the Gaza, that is the strip of Gaza, that is in Palestine, and the nation of Israel, as we all are aware.
That is a war. Red Sea is a bit different.
I guess so.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, team number 5.
Dear audience, the next team to face the Q&A round is team 6. Chess number 6A, you may please take the mic.
Good evening, and congratulations for making it through the preliminary. So the first question that I'd like to raise here is one observation that was made, that a lot of investments are required when it comes to renewables. However, there's a lack of resources. Can you suggest at least 2 ways in which we can combat this lack?
Indeed, ma'am. With respect to the infrastructure development that has to be made to make renewable energy more accessible to the whole of India, the point that I made was the rush development that is going to take place. Within the next 6 years, we plan to meet half of our energy requirements through renewables. At this point of time, it's only 8%. So the resources that we need is better planning. So for example, if Gujarat and Rajasthan is good at, say, solar energy, then that particular state will concentrate on solar energy. And if Tamil Nadu, which is a leading state which produces the most amount of wind energy, then that particular state can concentrate on wind energy. So at the same time, it is the duty of the government to identify the strengths of each and every state with respect to renewables. And at that point of time, the transmission of electricity from, say, one state which is producing a particular type of renewable electricity to another state which has a lack of it will come down. So that at that point of time, the infrastructural development needed also will come down. So whichever state has whichever capability, that has to be harnessed. And secondly, the foreign direct investments that we can depend on has to be done in certain way where our economy is protected. Or we can also give opportunity under the Make in India project to startups to come up with ideas that can reduce costs, at the same time use indigenous sources to come up with infrastructural plans.
Okay. Of course, there would have been more questions. I would have liked to continue with this one, but I'll move on to the next question. There was again an observation about coal mines generating employment, right? But now, while we rely on these sources for employment, what about the hazards that the people who are employed there are facing? How do we plan to combat that?
Certainly, ma'am. The safety standards with respect to the concerns of health and hazard management of the people who work in hazardous industries have been already looked into by the government of India. There have been cases where the Honorable Supreme Court has banned the employment of child labor or bonded labor in hazardous industries, and also for the fact that there are rules and regulations like the Hazardous Waste Management Act or the Protection of Workers Act who work in hazardous industries. All of these already look into the hazards that the people who work in coal mines and thermal power plants face. So the existing machinery can be further developed with respect to the new challenges that are concerned, and in that way the problem can be solved.
All right. Optimistic.
Thank you, ma'am.
Nevertheless. Thank you.
Thank you, 6A. Please be seated. Chest 6B, you may now take the mic.
Hello there. You had made a point about nuclear energy. So this is where I wanted to refer to the reformation that's now happening to the Atomic Energy Act of 1962, where the Nuclear Power Corporation of India and the National Thermal Power Corporation is planning to partner up and also invite private investment. What is your take on this?
I think to answer your question, ma'am, I think this initiative is really good because nuclear energy is one such aspect that you can harness and it will give you energy for lifetime together. Like to take for an example, the uranium-236. It can give you power up to many generations to come. And with regarding to this partnership, it is a good initiative which has been taken, ma'am. Even if there is any foreign direct investment, it is necessary because according to the Paris Agreement, which gave birth to the very initiative to reach renewable energy resources by 2030, what has to be noticed is that if there is any developing nation, the developed nations must aid these developing nations, even if it's in respect to long-term planning or capacity building, any such respect, there has to be aid from the developed countries, and this is what has been signed during the Cooperation of Parties Agreement in Paris, which led to this Paris Agreement. Therefore, with respect to this act, as well as the agencies and the governmental institutions that are undertaking this, I think if there is a public-private partnership also, it is a good investment. Why? Because there is a lot of private entities that are also coming up to look into renewable energies. Like take for example Tata, JSW, or even the Adani Group, which is one of the largest contributors to renewable energy, are also taking part into this. So it will be beneficial for states, as you mentioned, do not have certain reserves of solar energy or wind energy. Nuclear energy can be set up in such states, which can also be a contributing factor to the development of India in respect to renewable energy and reaching its commitment by 2030 as well as 2070.
All right. The next question is regarding investments. You had mentioned that there is a possibility of a creation of 9 million new jobs. So could you please elaborate on this statistics?
Indeed, ma'am. So there's a statistics that has been released by the International Energy Agency. So this is basically an intergovernmental agency established under the OECD, that is the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. So this was taken place after the oil crisis that happened in 1973. So what this agency basically does is, whichever country produces a maximum amount of energy, it takes up statistics as well as statistics of other countries as well and estimate on how much job employment can be lost or can be gained. So this was a report given by their agency, which had stated that even though if there might be a 5 million job loss in the fossil fuel industry, an estimate of 14 million jobs can be created in the clean energy resources, leading to a net gain of 9 million jobs. And it also has stated that if every dollar that has been invested in this can result in 3 times more jobs than the fossil fuel industry. So there is a large scope regarding this. There are many kinds of renewable energy that can be harnessed, that can be hydro energy, wind energy, solar energy, as well as nuclear energy. So this leads to a wider scope where a lot of employment can come into picture, because as we are starting up, we will require the research and development as well as manforce to meet up to these expectations. So that is how the employment opportunities can also increase by 9 billion. And with regard to, there is also certain concerns wherein there might be global warming issues and etc. that can be met through this initiative, and therefore that is why the 9 billion statistics was mentioned.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, 6B. Thank you so much, all the contenders. Dear listeners, there comes an end to this Q&A round. The next few minutes are crucial, whereby our judges will thoroughly evaluate, discuss, and decide the winners. For this, we request the judges to kindly move to the adjacent room to tabulate the final call. Our volunteers will escort you. Thank you.
We request all the contestants to take their seats in the auditorium. Meanwhile, dear audience, we have some interesting dance performances to make your evening lively. As the judges are tabulating the final results, let's embark on a captivating journey through the vibrant performances from MADX. MADX, which stands for Music, Art and Dance, is the cultural club of XIME Kochi. Let's prepare to be transported to the rich cultural heritage of India with a vibrant performance. We welcome Maddox onto the stage.
உன்னை காணாது நான் இன்று நான் இல்லையே, விதையில்லாமல் வேறில்லையே. உன்னை காணாது நான் இன்று நான் இல்லையே, விதையில்லாமல் வேறில்லையே. உன்னை காணாமல் உன்னை காணாமல் உன்னை காணாமல் உன்னை காணாமல் கமலனி தானே பாவ கமரிகரித உன்னை காணாமல் தென் நெஞ்சு தடுமாறு விதை இல்லாமல் வேறில்லை. நளின மோக சாமள கங்கா నటన భావ స్థిలయలింగ సరివర తూంగా తువాడు మను దినమున కాగయంగు రాధాదాన్ ఉనకెన రాధాదాన్ ఉనుకొరు రాధాదాన్ కృదా కృది కృదా కృది ధదకిట తకదా ధదకిట తకదా ధదకిట తక ధదకిట తక ధదకిట తక ధదకిట गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि
सांगणी रंग महाने मी यवन बिजली
beauty and grace of the performance was truly mesmerizing. Thank you, cultural team, for such an enthusiastic performance.
Hello.
The next performance is Mime. It is the art of storytelling through gesture and expression that will take us on a journey without words. Let's welcome the performers.
Imagine a tale of four companions whose journey from innocence of childhood to the complexities of adulthood will stir memories of past joy and ignite hopes for the future. Scene 1 unfolds in a park where laughter fills the air until one of them bumps into a tree, setting the stage for a story untold. As the scene transitions, the actor ready themselves for the next chapter, and the volunteers arrange the setting. We leap into their college days, a frantic dash of examination hall marking a passage of time. And during life's trials, our friends emerge on Convocation Day, a bittersweet moment of triumph tinged with the inevitable farewell. In the tapestry of adult life, threads of old friendship weave patterns of wonder. Where are those childhood comrades now? Culminates as the friends, bound by years of shared history, reunite in a familiar dance of camaraderie at a cozy restaurant, planned through a simple yet resourceful mechanism called a phone call, rekindling the flames of friendship long cherished. Friendship is not just a bond between individuals, but a powerful source that can inspire change and transform societies. Thus, as we continue to navigate through the complexities of life, let us remember the timeless words of Helen Keller. I would rather walk with a friend in the dark than alone in the light. Thank you.
Thank you, team, for your performance. Deep enough to say everything through your deeds.
Now we shift gears and prepare for a burst of modern creativity with a contemporary dance. May we please have the show of energy on stage.
बाकी थोड़ी सी है जिंदगी जगी धड़कन नहीं जाना जिंदा हूँ मैं तो अभी कुछ ऐसी लगन इस लम्हे में है ये लम्हा कहाँ था मेरा अब है सामने इसे छू लूं जरा मर जाऊं या जी लूं जरा खुशियाँ चूम लूं या रो लूं जरा मर जाऊं या जी लूं जरा कुछ ऐसा ही अब महसूस दिल को हो रहा है बरसों के पुराने जख्म पे मरहम लगा सा है कुछ ऐसा रहम इस लम्हे में है ये लम्हा कहाँ था मेरा है सामने इसे छू लूं जरा मर जाऊं या जी लूं जरा खुशियाँ चूम लूं या रो लूं जरा मर जाऊं या जी लूं जरा
That was phenomenal. Thank you all the performers for showcasing your talent and passion. One more round of applause for Team Maddox.
In the meantime, till the judges arrive, the stage will be set for the valedictory function, and we will resume shortly.
From its humble beginning at Bangalore, XIME has risen to one of the top management colleges.
funnel for a bada bar. I'm vengeance.
So now we invite Mr. Anil Philip, President XIME, Dr. Francie TV, Director XIME Kochi, and all the judges to the dais. It is now time to resume the function. For this, I would now like to welcome Dr. Francie TV to kindly address the gathering.
President of XIME Society, Mr. Anil Philip, judges of the event, family members, other dignitaries, participants of this prestigious debate competition, my dear faculty friends, staff and students. A good evening to one and all. Today, we had one of the most prestigious events at XIME. Maria Philip Debate Competition is a very special event for the entire XIME group of institutions because Maria is the soul of these institutions, and it is Maria who inspired her father to enter into this venture after his retirement. It is in memory of that beloved daughter we conduct this prestigious event every year. Previously, this was an all Kerala competition. Now, it became a South India competition. Usually, we used to conduct this South India competition at XIME Bangalore. But this year, because of a special reason, we got the opportunity to conduct this event at XIME Kochi. Today, 9th April 2024, is the 60th birthday of Maria. And today, we had the inauguration of Maria Philip Block of XIME International School at Etumanur, Kerala. Considering this speciality, XIME decided to conduct the South India Finals at Kochi. 6 state-level winners participated in the competition. Among that 6, 3 were already selected as winners. Now the question is, who will be the winner, who will be the runners-up, and who will be the best speaker? The winner of this competition will be awarded with a cash prize of rupees 60,000 and this ever-rolling trophy. 2 runners-up will get rupees 25,000 each, and the best speaker also will week. This is the reason why he is not attending this function. Usually he never misses this function. I know, though he is resting in our guest house, his soul is here. Let me extend a warm welcome to him in his absence. We had an excellent panel of judges. Our MC already introduced all of them. One of the judges, Ms. Junie George, is the first winner of this Maria Philip debate even before starting XIME Kochi. On behalf of entire XIME family, I extend a warm welcome to you all to this function. President of XIME Society, Mr. Anil Philip, Maria's brother, is presiding the function. Sir, let me extend a warm welcome to you from my bottom of heart. Maria's mother, family members, family members are all here. Her mom, Miss Leelama Philip, is here, but she could not reach the auditorium because of the health issues. Her sister, Dr. Sheba, sister-in-law, Miss Merit, all are here. Let me extend a warm welcome to you all. I welcome all the participants, accompanying teachers, parents, students from various institutions, faculty friends, staff, and our own students to this function. Once again, let me extend a warm welcome to you all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. You've certainly set an example for the audience.
We are all gathered here today because of the influence of one girl, Maria Philip. She was a visionary who believed in creating an egalitarian society and in creating a platform for leaders to voice out their opinions. She was the reason behind the whole idea of laying the foundation of XIME. On this auspicious day, Maria's 60th birthday, let us remember the girl who was the wind of change, a light in darkness.
And to speak more about the dream Maria Philip envisioned, we would now like to call upon Miss Aditi Bhatnagar, Batch 11 student, to kindly give such an introduction.
Maria Philip. Maria was born on 9th of April 1964 in Kerala. She pursued her schooling at the Convent of Jesus and Mary, New Delhi, and completed her BA in psychology from Jesus and Mary, New Delhi. While Maria was a sincere student throughout her schooling, she was an excellent orator, organizer, and an active participant in extracurricular activities. She was a born leader, and in recognition of her diligence, she was made the head girl at Laurento School Raji, games captain at Convent of Jesus and Mary School, and secretary of the debating club at Jesus and Mary College. The crowning glory of Maria was when she was elected as the most popular girl at All India Cultural Festival Montage at Jesus and Mary College in 1984. Having always been passionate about human resource management, she decided to pursue a master program in personal management at Madras School of Social Work. Unfortunately, during her final year, she was called to the Almighty Abode on September 30, 1986, leaving her dreams of contributing to the development of society unfulfilled. This unfulfilled dream of Maria was the inspiration for her father in the founding of XIME. Please join with me to watch the life journey of Maria.
As we sail ahead, it is now time to hear from our distinguished judge, Ms. Junie George, co-founder and CEO at the Fifth Mantra. To recollect from the introduction, Ms. Junie was also the winner of Maria Philip debate. Without further delay, ma'am, may we please have you to speak a few words on your memory associated with this debate and the one you witnessed 2 decades earlier.
Respected President, Director, members of the panel, esteemed faculty, and my dear students. It is indeed a great honor for me to be a part of the panel at the Maria Philip Future Leaders Debate competition finale. But at the same time, it is also a very emotional moment for me. Because this marks revisiting a platform 25 years later. Of course, that is also a reminder of how old I am. Maria Philip debate will always remain a very, very special memory for me, because this marked the turning point in my life as a young student back then in Kerala. When I left home and came and joined a college here, I was new to the place, no friends, no known people, and the Maria Philip debate was the first event I participated in representing my college. And winning it that year opened doors, windows, and what else that you can think of. And thereafter began 3 years of memorable experiences as far as opportunities go. Thereafter, my journey, starting with after my PG, I began my career in brand management with Dr. Reddy's, moved on to corporate communication, business development, training, coaching, and now entrepreneurship. In all these years, I've often thought back about the role that many of these extracurricular activities have played. A lot of times people think it's just about a trophy or just about an event. But many of the skills that are used, especially in debating, you will end up using in all walks of life later on. Whether it is being articulate when it comes to your opinions, the ability to convince people, analyzing information, and most importantly, considering diverse perspectives on any topic. So just to make it simple, I would like to share with you 3 mantras that I have learnt along the way. I call it the 3 mantras to build your life. The first mantra is to build skills. It is true that skills are going to be your future currency. Whenever you get any opportunity to explore, to diversify, to upskill yourself, please do that. Because at the end of the day, being a jack of all trades can be more rewarding than being a master of one. And of all the skills, if I have to emphasize on one skill, it would have to be communication skill. As they say, communication works for those who work at it. And please remember, skills are not born, they are built. But if you have skills and you don't know how to handle it, it can be a waste. So that brings us to the second mantra, build your mindset. In these times of increasing polarization and discrimination, building an empathetic and a collaborative attitude becomes even more crucial. You must have heard of the terminology agile mindset. Developing an agile mindset helps us become more open to handling the 4 C's: changes, challenges, conflicts, and criticism, all of which we will face at some point in our lives. When we are able to build the right set of skills, accompanied by the right mindset, we come to the third mantra, build relationships. Tony Robbins once said, the quality of your life reflects the quality of your relationships. It goes without saying, whether in the virtual world or in the real one, there is no excuse for disrespecting people or treating them badly. When we remember to believe in the goodness of people, when we are willing to support others in their journey, and most importantly, to treat everyone with respect, it can change our lives. I say this with conviction because it changed mine. The legacy of Maria Philip has continued to inspire and change lives. It has strengthened young students, emboldened them to continue dreaming, and built strong communicators. With these 3 mantras, I hope you can build your own legacy too, to make a success not just out of your life, but also to create value for others. I'd like to conclude with just one quote on success by Maya Angelou. She says, success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. May you all continue working and find success in who you are, in what you do, and how you do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for the sincerity in your words and touching our hearts with your powerful message. Moving ahead, dear audience, an important moment has arrived. I'm honored to introduce Mr. Anil Philip, the president of XIME Society. He's a proven leader with over 25 years of experience in the IT and telecom industry and was previously the executive vice president of product solutions and partnerships at Vodafone Idea.
It was yet another busy day for Mr. Anil Philip. For today, Sir has embarked a new journey with the inauguration of XIME International School, and the list is longer than a lifetime. Without further ado, Sir, may we please have you to address the gathering.
Thank you. You know, when we thought about the Maria debate, it's being in a 60th birthday, we started gathering in Bangalore, coming up with ideas. And we said, we've got to make this different. And one was obviously we had started about 3 years back from moving from a state level rounds when we had 3 states to a South India round. So that was not going to be new. So we started coming up with ideas and how do we make it big. And one of the things, and I think Marcia ma'am from Bangalore is here, and she came up with this idea of saying, can we look and hunt for some of the old winners? And in a way, I'm so glad they tracked you down, Juni, and the message that you've given today is absolutely great, right? So thank you for that. The other thing that we did is in the final round, we're going to make it not hard for the contestants, but hard for the judges, right? So I think you all have realized how hard it has been. So we introduced this new kind of round where the judges have to listen even more carefully as to what everyone speaks, and then prep them with questions. And then when the good things happen, they're sent out to a room, and then we're having the entertainment here. So thank you, judges, for doing a great job. I know the results are not out, but thank you for taking that effort. Thank you for really getting into it. And I hope the participants like that new concept of that second round, which is a Q&A rather than just coming and speaking. Did you all? Yeah, great. Now, why did we think of this debate as a memory for Maria? Of course, XIME itself is a memory for Maria. But why did we think of a debate as because she was herself a great debater. And I think Junie touched on it, but I'm going to use it through a quote. Why are debates important? For good ideas and true innovation to happen, you need human interaction, you need conflict, you need argument, and you need debate. So in real life, when you think about it, this debate, we formalize it a lot. But after formalizing it, what do? If we take that into an informal environment, our ability to discuss our ideas truthfully, openly, is really the debate, because somebody will have a different point of view. And the good thing about debate is, even in the formal, is everyone can have a point of view. And that is something that you must all try to do. That is, allow others' point of view, accept those point of views, but never shy away from sharing your point of view. Because if you don't do that, human interaction has not happened, conflict has not happened, and some conflict is good. Arguments don't happen, and debate will never happen. And as a result, we will be devoid of innovation and good ideas. And then the other part of it is leadership. Communication is about building leadership. It's probably one of the top skills in leadership. And at XIME, we've always been talking about it. Somebody once said, the art of communication is a lesson in leadership. So all XIME students, all the participants, remember that you need to build your communication, and the moment you build your communication, you're building up your skill. Now this year, the Maria Philip Future Leader Debate had 290 teams registering, 290 from 5 states. That's almost like close to 30 zones. So it's like it's a ground up rally. You go to various colleges and you get students. Kerala itself, I think, had something like 70 or 80 colleges, right? So 290 colleges registering. And then that competition, and then teams get eliminated. So zonal round winners contesting in the state round, and then the state round coming in Kerala. And so for all of you who made it to the state round, the 6 teams that came here, actually there were 10. For various reasons, I think 4 teams didn't come, maybe exams and stuff like that, because we did move the date. So in spite of that, the 6 teams that came in, it's actually a pleasure, and you must take itself, even if you're not a winner. You won, you came up, and the most important date, you participated. And I think kudos to all of you for participating and really giving it a good thing. So take this forward, and I hope in future years, the winners from here, and even the ones who participated, will inspire others like Joni is doing today, like many of us who've actually passed through XIME as well as passed through this thing of Maria Philip debate. I wish the participants success in their future. I wish my XIME students success in their future. But always forget, communication is key to your success. Never forget that. Thank you so much. And remember Maria on her 60th birthday. Thank you.
Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Thank you so much, Mr. Anil Philip, President, XIME Society, for enlightening us with your words of guidance.
As we surge ahead, here I'm quoting Tom Petty. Waiting is the hardest part. Dear audience, we have kept you waiting all this time to only reveal that patience in your garden yields the most ripened fruit. Without further delay, we would like to welcome Dr. George Sliba, Chairperson of the panel of judges, to give his brief observation on the performance of the debaters.
Respected President, Mr. Anil Philip, distinguished guests who are there on the dais and off the dais, and my dear friends. Isn't it a privilege that I am getting today to be part of these finals of the Maria Philip Future Leaders debate competition? I would have been more delighted, more happier if Professor J. Philip also was there in our midst today. Because Professor J. Philip is, as you all know, is a management leader par excellence, a person who has been a mentor or a guru for people of our generation in their professional life. So in his absence also, I offer my gratitude and also thanks to him for making me a part of this program. Now, coming back to the program that we already had, the debate competition, you already had some feedback and observations from one of the jury members here after the first round of the competition. I do not want to repeat those again. We had the second round here. Again, you have also seen how the participants have responded to the various questions that have been asked. I would like to focus only on the takeaways that you get from a program like this. After all, the program has been organized with a purpose, with an objective to develop future leaders, and that is the essence of XIME itself. So I would like to just say, some of the takeaways which you will find interesting to reflect on for your own development and also for developing yourself as future leaders. Rahul Dravid is an ace cricketer. Rahul Dravid was once asked, how do you measure your success? So they asked again to be specific. Do you measure your success based on the number of matches you have played? Do you measure it by the number of runs or other scores that you have made? Or do you measure it by the number of matches you have won? How do you measure it? Rahul thought for a while and said, winning or losing is not that an important thing for me. But what matters to me most is that how much I have been able to learn from the people around, from the people with whom I interact or I play with. Or after each match, how much more I have learned, I have improved upon my skills. This is what that matters to me most. So what he said was, rather than winning or losing, what you have gained, what are the takeaways for you, and how it is going to benefit you in your future career as a leader, that is what makes sense in all these competitions. I would just try to list down some of the things which you have to reflect on when you get back to your places after this competition. You have all participated, you have all done extremely well. We all listened to the illuminating, thought-provoking presentations that you have made. A lot of data you have collected. You have presented it well. Probably the time is so limited that you could not arrange it in such a way that you could have made more sense out of that. So I would say that there are few things, few takeaways which you should reflect on so that these experiences will become more meaningful for you. The first and foremost, what I feel important is the learning that you have from yourself. You have made a presentation here in front of all the audience here. Have you been able to better your best of the past? Able to do something more than what you have done in the past presentations? The fastest runner in the world who got Olympics medal many times is Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt was asked, why do you go every time to Olympics and win the medals? You can keep quiet. He said, my competition is with myself. I'm competing with myself, and every day I'm trying to be better than what I was yesterday. So this is one of the takeaways for you which you should reflect on. The second one I feel is the opportunity you get from learning from others. There is a book by name Steal Like an Artist. Steal like an artist, what it means is that an artist is a person, a creative person, who creates something new. And what an artist does, he observes, his observation power, he observes what others are doing, he observes their style of working, their ideas, and then he imbibes those ideas, and then he creates something new, he recreates something new. And this is what you also can do. You have listened to all other presentations. Just see what are the good points that you have. Will you be able to adopt at least some of them so that you can be better tomorrow? The third one I would say is that the opportunity you get for continuous learning. Now, and today you have debated on a particular topic, say renewable energy, its benefits or whatever it is. So now whenever you hear about renewable energy, you will try to go into that. Something on that. So your knowledge is expanding. You become a lifelong learner, a continuous learner. And I would request that you continue with that learning. Because as it is said, you are old whether you are 20 or 80 when you stop learning. So be a continuous learner. This, I think, the takeaway from this program. The fourth one, I would say, you get an opportunity to realize what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. You have seen some of the people could not deliver the way they wanted, They are excellent people. But every day is not the same for us. So one day you won't be able to perform well, but the next day you could. So what I say is that, what is my strength, what is my weaknesses? Try to identify this and build on your strengths. And it's much more easier to build on your strengths than on your weaknesses. The last one I would say is that you are now able to see a big picture of whatever problem or subject is brought to you. You have, in the second round of questioning, it was not directly related to what you have talked. There were other questions as well. What we were trying to understand from you is, have you just prepared something and delivered that, or you have gone broad, you have gone to other aspects also. Whether you have been able to realize now what is the energy scenario of the country and where does renewable energy or other fossil fuels all fit in. So seeing this big picture, if you can't see the wood from the trees, then that is a very, very, I wouldn't say it's a leadership quality. Usually the leader is a person who sees always the big picture. So these are the takeaways, I would say, which you should reflect on when you get back to your place. I don't want to give you any message or anything. I would like only to say that as a leader, as the President has already mentioned, a leader has to be a visionary. He has to be a good communicator. He should be a decision maker. He should be a problem solver. All these qualities, what our guest speaker, special address, Ms. Junie George has said, the skills that you need, the mindset that you should have, the mindset of what Rahul David said, mindset about winning and losing. Winning and losing is not something which you should be concerned more about. So with these few words, now is the time, and you're all looking forward to the moment of truth, looking forward to the announcement of the winners and the runner-ups and the best speaker. I don't want to stand in your way. I will conclude with this. Thank you very much. Whoever is the winners, congratulations to the winners, and all those participants you have come and made their presentation. You have made excellent presentations. And I think you all learned from these presentations and will be a better person yourself tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for those inspiring words. To continue in the tone, I request you, sir, to announce the runner-up winners.
It's my privilege to announce the second runner-up. Second runner-up is Team 3. Team 3, represented by Kirti Leda, Hema Varshni from Lady Dog College, Tamil Nadu. If you can stand up, at least people can see who they are.
The runners-up will be receiving a cash prize worth rupees 25,000. So Team 3, we have Kirti Lata and Hema Varshini S. from Lady Dua College, Tamil Nadu.
Now I will announce the first runner-up. First runner-up is Team 6, represented by Ananya V, Nikita Susan Epen from JSS Law College, Karnataka. JSS Law College, Karnataka.
So for the first runner-up, we have Team 6, Ananya V and Nikita Susan Epen from JSS Law College, Karnataka. Thank you, ma'am.
Heartiest congratulations to the winning teams. It was a well-deserving victory. Next up, we have the award for Best Speaker. Before we have an official announcement, can we have any guesses from the audience? How many of you think that it may be 5B? May we have a show of hands? Let's hear the result from Dr. George Sliba, Chairman, Judging Panel, to kindly announce the name of the best speaker for today's event.
The best speaker is Mr. K. Vijay Kumar, 4B, from Emeralds College, Andhra Pradesh.
To do the honors of presenting the prize, I would request Mr. Anil Philip, President, XIME Society, and Dr. George Sliba, Chairman, Judging Panel, to kindly present the prizes to the winner. For the best speaker for the Maria Philip Debate 23-24, K. Vijay Kumar from Emeralds College bags a cash prize worth Rs 25,000 and a memento. Many congratulations to the winning person.
Next, dear audience, is the overall winner of the Maria Philip Future Leaders Debate 2023-24. So before they are officially announced, do we have any guesses? Yes. Yes, you have guessed it right. So I would like to invite Mr. Anil Philip, President XIME, to distribute the prizes.
Yeah.
So we have Team 5, Teresa Maria and Ashish K. Shintu of Mar Avenues College, Trivandrum, Kerala. They'll be receiving the Maria Philip Rolling Trophy and cash prize worth Rs 60,000.
I request all the winning teams, runners-up, overall winner, and the best speaker to kindly join the dignitaries on stage for a group photograph.
Thank you so much to the dignitaries for doing the honors. We heartily congratulate all the participants of the debate. You're taking home the hearts of hearts. Adding to this, may I request Mr. Anil Philip, President XIME Society, to distribute mementos to our esteemed judges.
May I please invite Dr. George Sliba, Chairman, Judging Panel, former Chairman and MD, FAC Limited, and former Joint MD at V-Guard Industries to kindly receive the memento. Next, may I request Ms. Anisha Cherian, former President, TIE Kerala, to receive the memento. Next, we have Ms. Biji SS, Senior General Manager, South Indian Bank, receiving the memento. I would now request Ms. Junie George, co-founder and CEO at the Fifth Mantra and winner of the Maria Philip debate, to kindly receive the memento. May we please have Advocate Anil D. Nair, Senior Advocate at the Kerala High Court, to receive the memento. Thank you so much, sir, for your kind gesture.
We are now almost at the end of our event. we would like to invite Ms. Lindsay Rinnell, Assistant Professor and Coordinator of the Maria Philip Future Leaders Debate South India Finals 2023-24, who worked hard to see this year's debate prosper, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
Living in a state of gratitude is the gateway to grace. I consider it a privilege and honor to propose the vote of thanks on the occasion of this prestigious event. At the outset, I take the opportunity to thank our beloved principal founder of XIME Group of Institutions and former director of IIM Bangalore, Professor J. Philip, our patron, who is the inspiration for all of us here. We have seen your love for your daughter and fulfilled her dreams through institution building and serving the society at large. I believe Philip sir is watching this event on YouTube. Sir, kindly accept our gratitude from the bottom of our heart. Next, I would like to thank Mr. Anil Philip, the President of XIME Society, our mentor, guide. He is the man behind the design of this event. He has always been there as a pillar of our strength for all ventures of XIME. Sir, your presence means a lot to us. Thank you, sir. Professor C.P. Ravindranathan, IFS retired, former ambassador to Australia and the chairman of XIME Kochi. We thank you, sir, for all support in your absentia. I take the opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to the esteemed panel of judges, Dr. George Sliba, Ms. Anisha Cherian, Ms. Biji SS, Ms. Juni George, and Advocate Anil D. Nayo. Thank you, sirs and madams, for spending your valuable time with us and being a part of this event. I also thank all the dignitaries of the dais for being of this event. Next, I would like to thank Dr. T.V. Francie, Director of XIME Kochi, for the wholehearted support and encouragement for the conduct of this event. Thank you, sir. Professor Alok Krishna, Dean Academics of XIME Kochi, Professor A.S. Girish, Dean External Programs, who supported us in multiple capacities in the execution of all levels of this event. Thank you, sirs. Next, I would like to thank the state final coordinators, Dr. Mercia Justin, Dr. Rajalakshmi, and Dr. Bijit George Abraham, who have rendered a great support and joined hands together to make this event a great success. Thank you, sir and madams. Next, I extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Feba Thomas, the joint coordinator of this event, who supported wholeheartedly to showcase a great event today. Thank you, Dr. Feba. I thank all my faculty colleagues, Mr. Jomi Lawrence, Dr. Elizabeth Devasia, Ms. Harsha Anna George, and other faculty members for their endless support. Next, I would like to thank the librarians, Ms. Jija Anna John and Ms. Smita G, who were always supporting us for conducting all events in XIME Kochi. I also thank Ms. Seema Satish, Ms. Anila, and the IT team, Ms. Dimmy, Mr. Christie, and Mr. Diljit. Special thanks to the admin team, Sister Mercikuti, Mr. Joseph, Mr. Vishal, Mr. Lijo, Mr. Maniraj, and Mr. Sudhakaran for their endless support and wholehearted effort. Next, I thank all the student volunteers of XIME Kochi. Their efforts and support are tremendous. We are truly thankful to each one of you. Last but not the least, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to the real stars of the day, all contestants, who made this event a great success. Also, I thank all parents, guardians, faculty from other colleges, and other guests who joined today and witnessed the event. Thank you all once again for being here with us today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your supportive words. To the gathering, there is one thing that binds us all together: the respect and belongingness we have for this diversified yet unified country. To rejoice this feeling, may I request all of you to kindly rise for the National Anthem.
So, Ms. Insi thanked everybody. So I want to thank Ms. Insi for undertaking this particular event. So actually it was entrusted to Dr. Bijit. He could not do that because of his ill health. And all on a sudden, Ms. Lindsay and Dr. Feba took the, so a special thank from XIME family for you both. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for this special address. I request all of you to kindly rise for the National Anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you all for being a wonderful audience. Congratulations once again to all the participants and winners. We hope to see this continued enthusiasm from your side in all the coming years. So please join us for food.